Italians all the time.
What? And where did you study abroad, Claire?
Oh my god, so crazy story. I studied abroad. Oh my god, wait, you studied abroad?
Wait, oh my god, I studied abroad. Do you want to hear about my entire personality based on that one experience?
Yeah, I've made this my entire personality.
Jesus. Hi guys, welcome to the Midnight Memo. We are dressed like Italians today.
Yeah. Again, if you're watching the videos, you'll know. If you're not watching the videos, you should start watching the videos.
Only the real ones know.
Exactly. And you get to see how amazing our mustaches look right now.
I can't believe... Okay, I'm blind too, and so what do you call the viewfinder? Whatever.
I think so.
The camera showing and displaying back to me how ridiculous I look in real time. Again, because I'm blind and it's really far away. It looks pretty decent. We'll see this when I'm editing, how ridiculous we look. But I think we look fantastic.
We look really good, guys. We are Italians today from a very well-known video game series.
Oh, I thought you were just going to start from end at video game. And I was like, yes, just the one.
Just one video game.
But a one. Not an entire franchise, but just a one.
Yes.
And if you're not watching the videos, I wonder... Please go on our Instagram or reach out to us on social media and see if you can guess who we are before we reveal the answers, because I would like to know. I wonder how much of that is given away.
Yeah. I'm going to try this in the beginning. For our YouTube watchers, make sure to click that subscribe button if you want to keep up with us.
Yes.
We would super appreciate it.
Yes.
Or if you don't want to, you should still do it because...
Don't tell me otherwise.
Because, I mean, it's just one click. It's not
just
that,
one click.
You know, it's not that big of a deal.
How many times do you think you click your mouse within a day? I'm sure someone has done a stat in a study of that.
I don't know. It depends on, like, how busy of a day at work it is.
Yeah.
Okay, also, I always see those videos where it's, like, people will just move their mouse around to appear online. What does that do? Like, what?
I don't know.
Where are they watching you? What status is being, like, monitored?
Dude, I don't know, but y'all work... Yeah, you must work at some, like, crazy, like, Big Brother type of organizations. No offense, knock on wood. But, like, because, yeah, I want to know who cares that intensely about you. But I think it might also... Maybe it's for, like, when you're on, like, chat. Because certain chat apps will be, like, if you are away in the sense of being inactive, like I know for our chat apps, like if you're away for more than being even, my mustache is falling, like not on the app itself actively for more than I think like 15 minutes, then it sets you to away.
Oh.
Which, again, maybe this is a different company culture thing, but like it's like, okay, whatever, you're just not actively on chat, you're doing other things that are more important than actively responding to people's pings. But maybe for other people, you really need to be like online.
Interesting.
Couldn't tell you.
I feel like my team can't track me that much.
I mean, healthy work-life balance if they don't, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I would hope.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I'm working on East Coast time, right?
Yeah, the worst.
And so... Yeah, it's just horrible when you're on like Pacific Coast time and then like, or Pacific Standard Time, and then everyone's like, oh, it's 10 a.m. here. Let's get all of our meetings done. I'm like, it's literally 7 a.m.
Dude. Okay, not to make your obvious inconvenience seem even smaller, but I was talking to one of my friends who is about to move to Scotland, and it breaks my heart that she's leaving me. But she's transferring teams. She just hasn't physically gone to Scotland yet. But she started working on this team, so she's working on Scotland time.
That's crazy.
Which is 8 hours ahead. Mm-mm. So I was like, she was telling me all this, and then I was like, wait. So when are you starting your day? And she's like, my first meeting tomorrow's at 2 a.m.
That's gross.
And I was like, what?
If there's in no world where I would wake up.
I don't care if I had to work on like...
Fire me. Like, this is why I could not be a nurse, like doing the night shifts.
No.
Girl.
You
my
can't
best
even
friend,
stay up for one all-nighter.
This is true.
Like with all the love in my heart,
this.
you can't.
Yeah. I'll stay up until like 4 a.m. and then sleep. I can never make it through the whole night. Yeah.
Wow.
But my best friend from San Diego, Rachel, she did EMT stuff and like was working in the medical field for a while, and she was telling me her hours. I'm like, when do you work? She's like 4 to 4. I'm like, what? She's like 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. And I was like, that is disgusting.
You would literally, if you had to do that for one day, since you say you fall asleep at 4 a.m., you'd literally get off your shift and just like face and
I
down.
wouldn't even get out of the hospital. I would
power down right there.
Yeah, I would face plant on the cement. Luckily, I'd be right next to the hospital.
That's some like, oh, what is it called? What's the serial killer term when they like just drop you? They like angel of death, angel something.
Yes.
When they like cause a situation to put you directly in harm just so they can save you because they have some type of like.
Yeah, I just do that to myself
Yeah.
all the time.
TLDR,
I just move into the hospital.
This is my room. My daily bedroom room.
Yeah, I put like the only reference I know is from Grey's Anatomy. They have those like rooms where nurses and doctors can sleep in between like really long shifts. Oh. You know? I think. I don't know if this is real.
I obviously don't watch any type of medical
should call up Selena
shows.
and see, fact check this. But
Hi, nurse friends, please help.
yeah, I'm like, so this is, I'm making it up. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. I would literally just like dormify it, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Just put a whiteboard on it that says Claire's dorm.
Claire's dorm. In, out, unavailable.
Yeah, dead. But DED.
DED. Stop.
It's the power of the mustache. Oh, also.
This is our link.
Yes.
That's another video game reference, Claire.
Yes.
Stop. I hate. That's making me so uncomfortable. I hate that. Yeah. Don't do that. Claire was trying to pet her paper mustache.
Wait, it's real.
I grew this in the last week. What do you mean?
It was a very stressful week.
Also, I can't help but like every time I talk, I don't know if you see it, but I feel it. Like I can see it.
Yeah.
My mustache is like flapping out of like away from my face as I'm talking, and it's very distracting. You're very talented with that.
Thank you. I don't even think we actually said who we were.
Oh my gosh. I don't think so.
You have to say it, but like you have to do your catchphrase.
Okay, but then you have... Claire literally spent like 5 minutes trying to record me saying this. And now that I've hyped it up, I'm gonna fail again. Because I just kept laughing earlier. Okay, I got this. It's me, Mario. Have I fulfilled your dreams now?
Yes.
Okay, what's yours?
I feel mine is like, woohoo! I'm Neon Luigi.
Maybe they don't know that you're neon green.
I don't know. It still feels pretty bright on the side. I tried having normal green stuff and it just didn't work out for me. He's so slyly. I'm getting a piece of paper. Guys,
what do you mean?
Do you remember when we talked about organization and note-taking?
Stop. Do you
remember this?
Well, I did. Claire did something else.
Yes, we talked about how chaotic my notes are. Now,
can you please show it to the camera?
We've leveled up.
We made it to a different level. Yes.
In chaos. So if you're an OG and you've listened to our very beginning episodes, we had an episode where we talked about how Kristen has OCD tendencies.
I don't know what you mean. I'm fine.
And how I lack those tendencies. So
lack those tendencies.
So one of them was about note taking and how I just am so chaotic. I write in pen all the time. I write my notes in different directions, whatever. So I was taking notes for this week's episode because we're gonna get into our final week of Spook-Tober. Yeah, still haven't learned how to edit in Lightning or anything, but just use your imagination. So today I was doing a little art project and I was doing art project, also listening to some videos on the topic we're going to talk about, or that I'm going to talk about today.
Yes.
And in the middle, again, guys, watch the video. I need you
to
really
bask
in the glory that is my notes.
Just looking good.
It just looks like a kid's art project.
Well, you were doing art with children's supplies.
I was. Yes, they're non-toxic markers. There's 16 of them.
Well, that's why Claire's mustache is made with non-toxic markers. Mine is made with dry erase, so I may get high throughout this video. We're gonna see how that goes.
That would be amazing.
I was already slightly drunk like half an hour ago. We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah. Anyway, my note sheet's
beautiful.
horrendous. Oh my god, there's even a piece of tape on the bottom of it.
Oh my god.
Where did that even come from?
This was also on top of was it on top of a cucumber?
Yeah.
Her art supplies were on top of there's chaos in this apartment.
I am a very chaotic person.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a puzzle on my floor currently, and we're not moving it.
It's 1,000 pieces though. She finished it.
Yeah.
It's quite an endeavor.
I'm weird about puzzling. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
Winston's puzzling.
Okay, I keep my pants on while I puzzle.
I mean, if you're around other people, thank God. If you're by yourself, then like, do your thing.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I'm not as weird as Winston when I puzzle. It's very intense.
You don't include almonds in your puzzles?
No. I can tell. I'm not colorblind.
Dressed as neon green Luigi.
Listen.
Just kidding.
I only had this. These are the only green
These
things
are the only
I have.
green things. I know. I had the perfect green shirt for you, but alas, no green headwear.
Nope. Hello. If you're hearing this, that means we have found a break in our trains of thought. I know. Kind of crazy, like our podcast isn't chaotic or something like that. Anyway, this week we have a sponsor for this episode, and our sponsor is Newsly. And you're probably wondering, what is Newsly? Well, Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up the most trending articles on the web on topics you choose at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice. For the first time, the entire web becomes listenable, all in one place. So you can stop scrolling and start listening. You can follow any topic as specific as you'd want, from sports to business to Bitcoin or even the Kardashians. And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 80 countries. Our podcast, The Midnight Memo, will be there too. So make sure to check them out, download and use Newsly for free now from www.newsly.me or from the link we have down in our description. You can also use the promo code TMM and receive 1 month of free premium subscription. That is TMM for 1 month of free premium subscription. That is right. So make sure to go check us out on the Newsly app. You will not regret it. And now back to the podcast.
Anyways, Claire, do you want to introduce our topic?
Yes. Okay. So welcome to the last week of Spook-Tober. This is going to be the last installment of our spooky Halloween, Oktoberfest, whatever.
Yeah.
And we already talked about like haunted houses and trick-or-treating, true crime. And I thought it would be fun to kind of like talk about something that's real. It's very real. And it actually was a huge topic, I want to say in like 2014, which is crazy.
Really?
Because I literally hadn't heard about it until earlier this week.
Yeah, when you mentioned that you were gonna we should talk about this, I was like, I've literally never heard of it. I Google searched it, probably not a great idea, at work, and I was like, what the frick is coming?
Yeah.
It was
so insane. Okay, so the topic we're gonna be talking about today is a haunted house, but it should be classified as a torture chamber.
The official tagline, again, when I Google searched this, I texted it to you. The first tagline that came up when I looked up the name of this place was Horror Survivalist Bootcamp.
Yeah.
So
it's absolutely insane. And this place is called McKamey Manor. And it was originally in San Diego, which is where I'm from.
I saw that too, and I was like, oh, this must have been a thing, while you were living there. I figured you found out about it while you were home or while you were growing up.
Which would make sense.
Right.
Because, I mean, the first haunted house I ever went to was in San Diego, but that was like in the Scream Zone, which is like a whole nother business. And when I was growing up in San Diego, that was a time where I still hated everything horror, so I was like kept my distance, and I never heard of it. And so I think it was at its peak of people knowing about it in 2014, 2015.
Okay.
And now a lot of videos again are coming out about it. And I think videos before weren't coming out about it because it was so crazy and like scary. And the people who went through the actual McKamey Manor like didn't want to talk about it as much.
Dude, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like that's when you know. You should know.
Yeah. So McKamey Manor is supposedly supposed to be a haunted house where you, again, voluntarily put yourself through these kind of experiences. And so like when you first think of a haunted house and think of like, oh, it's a haunted house where the actors can touch you and stuff like that. It's like a level up from a regular haunted house.
I was going to say if they can touch you, that's already like higher than normal expectations for haunted houses.
Yeah. And I think some people, especially like adrenaline junkies or people who just like love those types of things, it can sound appealing at first. But when you actually read all the stuff that you need to do to even be able to get into McKamey Manor, it becomes a little weird because like
things like parental slips or something that you have to sign before you can enter,
like even bigger than that, like regular haunted houses,
right? Like
you basically pay $20, here's a ticket to go in. You know, like obviously like you consent. Yeah, you have like a page, maybe two, of like consent. Don't punch our actors. Don't, you know, like there'll be chainsaws.
We are scaring you intentionally. Yeah.
And so it's like there are emergency exits if you need it. There are whatever. But McKamey Manor, when it first opened, I also watched a video from a girl who did the initial, what they called tours.
Okay.
So, which is like so weird. I don't know why they referenced it like that. Like when you go in a haunted house, you're just like, I went to a haunted house.
Yeah.
But this, they're like referencing is
like a house tour. Like what are they?
Yeah, they were like, oh, I went on like during my first tour. This is what happened.
People did this multiple times?
I think there was one girl who did it twice, which is absolutely insane.
Okay. So,
but
bold. Okay.
So the guy who was in charge of it, I believe his name was Russ I just forgot. McKamey. Oh my God.
Yeah. I was like, I can pull it up again.
Stroke. Okay. So the founder of the house was Russ McKamey. And what's crazy is that he had a wife and kids.
Crazy. A man with a wife and kids?
Who knew that he was running this torture chamber.
Wait. Backtrack a little bit. Is he classifying this as a torture chamber? Or is it house. Like, okay, yeah, it's one of those situations where they're like, oh, it's this thing. And then people go through and they're like, actually,
But they actually know what he's doing. Like, they're fully aware of all of the acts, all of the actors, what they're doing to the people who come through this house. They were fully aware of it. And, like, there are videos of Russ's kids who look like maybe 8 years old.
I was going to ask, yeah.
Who are like, oh, yeah, like, daddy likes to torture these people and stuff. And it's like, what kind of, like, the amount of psychological issues that those kids are going to have growing up, like, that's insane.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is, like, do you think maybe if he started this, quote, quote, early enough in their lives that maybe they're decent at 8 years old when they are saying that, it might be because they're desensitized and they don't realize the gravity of what they're actually saying. Like, they recognize what's going on, but they don't realize, like, what that means.
I think so.
But that means also a lot of therapy when that ripples up, a lot of therapy as an adult. A lot.
Yeah. So when McKamey Manor first started, the first tours, whatever, basically this is what the process was if you wanted to go. So a lot of people started hearing about it and they're like, oh my God, this is like
all
a cool haunted
junkies
house.
Junkies want to go.
Yeah.
The
actors can touch you. Oh, like it's going to be a whole experience. And it's not just a 20-minute walkthrough. No, it could go hours.
How long is a normal haunted house to walk through?
I would say maybe like a 20-minute experience, 20 to 30. At least I think that's what I
have no like I feel like when I'm going through a haunted house, I normally have a shitty gauge of time. Yeah. So I couldn't even like gauge a perception of while I'm doing something like that, like going through a haunted house.
Maybe like between 15, 20, 25 minutes, I would say. Because they like go through multiple rooms. You get like kind of caught behind the other groups. Things like that. Fair.
The first one that shows up on my Google search, so obviously I've done this very thoroughly, is 20 to 25 minutes walkthrough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seems about right.
Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah, but if you went to McKamey Manor, they could last hours. Like imagine an 8-hour haunted house.
Even 1 hour of a haunted house sounds terrifying.
Yeah, like it's absolutely insane. And it started, so McKamey Manor started to become known as the haunted house that no one could get all the way through. So,
okay.
When you heard about McKamey Manor, you're like, oh, it's interactive. It's a long experience. I want to go. It sounds interesting because a lot of people apparently wanted to go. Mm-hmm. You would contact Russ because he held it at his house.
So like, okay, when you say he held it at his house, like, are we going through like his main living quarters? Like, he is living and residing in the same spot that he's doing the haunting? Or is it one of those like, the haunts are in the basement, I live in the rest of the house?
So someone did a Google Maps search of his house because it's public knowledge, especially if he's like, this is where you go to come to the haunted house.
Right.
And you would see his house, but then he owned a lot of land.
Mm-hmm.
So
of course.
I think this is actually the Google Maps search I saw was his Tennessee house, which is where McKamey Manor moved to. So it was originally in San Diego. It moved to Tennessee.
For more space.
So you would see his house. Then behind the house, you would see this square of like shipping containers, it looks like.
Already a hard fucking no, man.
And then past that, you would see this land that looks like a trench was dug into it.
No.
Yeah. So that is where I'm assuming the haunts took place.
Right.
So it was at his house, but not in his actual house, on his property. Mm-hmm. And when you wanted to go to the haunted house, you would have to actually reach out to him and say, hey, I want to do this. Mm-hmm. And so the list of requirements to get into this haunted house, this torture chamber, is insane. Mm-hmm. Like, full clarity, I don't know if this house is still happening today. Mm-hmm. But like, so one of the first requirements is there's a 40-page waiver that you have to sign.
That's like
40.
That's Apple's terms and agreements, to be honest.
Yeah. And like that, who's going to read it?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
But basically in that 40 pages, you're signing your life away.
Yeah.
And I took screenshots of a couple
There's a lot you can cover in 40 pages. There's a lot of things you can cover and hide behind.
It's not even
legal
hidden.
Jargon. Or choose not to.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like,
but if one wanted, oh, my mustache fell.
Mario.
Continuation. Nothing happened. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but like in general, there's a lot of content you could put in 40 pages. So regardless, like let alone if you're trying to hide it. Or sorry, I meant that backwards. There's a lot you could hide in 40 pages, let alone if you were not trying to hide it and you just like, we're like, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That gives you even more, like, what you can fit in 40 pages.
Yeah. So all of this information I just got from other sources. So I can't say that this is 100% the truth, but if a lot of sources have the exact same information, this is what I'm assuming. And I also think I heard that Russ didn't actually put all of the 40 pages of his agreement or disclosure paperwork online. Just a few pages leaked. And so here I'm reading stuff from the pages that were leaked. So one of the points on his waiver and non-disclosure agreement was participant fully understands and agrees that they may come into contact with carbon monoxide poisoning with regard to use of artificial fog.
Okay.
In MM, which is McKamey Manor, there is no quitting unless serious physical or psychological injury is present.
how are you going to prove psychological injury in the middle of it? Like, I'm sure it's happening, like, if you needed to put this.
Yeah.
But, like, what are you going to do? Be like, yo, teen, time out. I'm having psychological injury. And they're going to be like, no. Prove it or we won't stop.
What's interesting is that when...
You need to stop to prove it.
Yeah. What's interesting is that in the beginning, more recently, they have a safe word. You can establish a safe word. However, the people who went through the experience more recently said that even if you have a safe word, they don't respect it. Because like it's in the contracts that like you can have one, but it doesn't mean the actors will actually respond to it.
Because how are they supposed to remember the safe word? Like, unless the mansion has one safe word and for whoever comes through it.
They can remember it, but the thing is that they're not going to stop anyway.
Right.
Because, like, think about it. If you're an actor willing to do these things to people.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And, like, these actions that are
what are you talking
super
around?
Scary is, like, you can have your teeth pulled out. You can have...
Wait, what?
Yeah. Like,
you can go, like... You are being hired by this manor. And you were saying, my job is to pull people's teeth out. Like,
people have had
actually not like fake, like I put something on your teeth just to like...
Nope. People have reported that their teeth have been pulled out, their hair has been cut, they've been waterboarded, they've been like forced to swallow like liquids that are not supposed to be consumable by humans. They've reported like throwing up and then being forced to consume that.
What?
Like they've been
how are they?
They've left this manor with huge bruises everywhere, like, and so like physical and psychological trauma are happening.
Yeah,
like,
that's very apparent.
Yeah, you're basically going, and it feels like you've been abducted and are being tortured,
right?
And which is why people are reportedly they haven't finished this haunted house because they can't handle it, which obviously,
I mean, the way you're describing it, that definitely sounds like someone who's being like, on what grounds would you willingly do that?
I think a lot of people,
or you're being forced to do it and you can't leave. Like, oh my gosh,
I think a lot of people initially do it to prove something to themselves. Like, oh, all these people haven't finished it.
But I'm gonna finish. Yeah,
I can do it. I can handle it. You know. And there was a rumor going around that Russ would say like, "Hey, I will award $20,000 to someone who can finish this haunted house," which was a complete lie, because also reportedly Russ was broke as fuck. Like he doesn't have the money to pay off. He just wanted to get more people because he enjoyed torturing people.
I mean, if people are already coming, like there's like it's not like, I mean, if it's still going on now, then maybe he would, but I'm sure at those times, especially when he first started, like there was no need to prove that he had the funds to facilitate making a claim of like, I will pay you. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And it's crazy. So another one, another little point on his waiver was tour of MM, which may include but not limited to head, neck, and back injuries, death, stroke, traumatic brain injury, brain aneurysm, cerebral and retinal hemorrhage, subdural hematobas, loss of consciousness, whiplash, harmful heart reaction, nausea, headache, dizziness, lacerations, broken or sprained bones, torn ligaments, bleeding, wounds, scrapes, and cuts, heart stroke, or drowning does not hold MM responsible.
I love that death was, don't love using that sarcastically, just to be clear, but it's so funny how death is just thrown in as the third argument there. It's like whatever you started with, death, and then other things that are in comparison to death of a lesser value. I don't want to say that either.
Yeah, like
not as extreme.
Yeah, comparably, death seems a little more intense than the other.
A little bit more finite.
Yeah, and it's, when I was reading this, I'm like, this literally sounds like you're gonna have a new medication.
Yeah.
Like, this sounds like birth control. Just
well, yeah, in a dark way, I was thinking of that as well. But also, like, it's just also the jumping around where it's like brain hemorrhaging something, wounds and cuts, and then they move to something else like psychological something, like it's truly everywhere. And then the sequential progress through this list doesn't seem like it's scaling up or down. It's truly like they just picked whatever possibly could happen and shook it up and just threw it in the list.
Basically. Yeah. So, participant fully understands and agrees that being scared or having a panic attack, etc., does not count as serious injury. They fully agree that their tour may include the use of hypodermic needles, zappers, tasers, or dog shock collars. Yeah.
Are you allowed to... Okay. Are you, like, allowed to administer needles? Just... I mean, I guess these people are signing away that consent, right? So, like... I guess you can, because they agreed to it. But, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So, there were even more... where basically, like... they're signing away all rights. And they're saying, like, oh, you could kill me and it would be fine. And... we can't hold you responsible.
Yeah,
so that's like
why
what
would you
this
even
40-page document is. Yeah, and
like as soon as I got death, I was like, what? But I wonder if like, sometimes when you do something crazy like skydiving or something, that is a serious possibility, and they do put that in the waiver thingies for that purpose. So I guess argumentatively, people have seen other forms that they have signed where it does say like this could result in death. So maybe, but I don't know. I'm trying to be like, oh, but so you have seen this form before, so maybe you are in a fucked up way like desensitized, where you're like, oh yeah, sure, that's a possibility, and that's why you were okay with signing it on this thing, like on this form specifically, despite us both being like, that's crazy. You see the word death, you should hold more weight to that. You should read into that. But I don't know where I was going with that. It's crazy.
I see where you're going with it. And like, yes, when you have an extreme sport like skydiving, obviously there are chances that the parachute, whatever.
Yeah. There's things that can happen.
It's like a single clause. The fact that like this document,
okay, that's so true,
literally every single point is like, we can bury you alive, we can do this, we can do that, and like you can't say anything, like that's what. And like it's a haunted house, like yes, you're supposed to be scared, yes, if the actors touch you in the haunted house you have to consent to that, but to have like literally, that's like a 2-page document. This is 40 pages of straight, we're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah. That's what I was, as you were just explaining it, that's what I was thinking too. It's like in another, again, the extreme sports version that we're comparing to, like, yes, it's one clause and that's the only time it's mentioned. Here, it's repeatedly announced. It's basically, they're telling you how they're gonna kill you. Like, they're literally telling you exactly what they're gonna do to you, which... in a fucked up legal sense of like these people doing what they're doing, it's like, oh, we directly told you what we're doing to you, so you shouldn't be surprised. So again, I understand why they have to do that. But as someone who's reading that, again, you see this thing, you might die going skydiving, you're like, yeah, I'm taking this risk. Okay, but you keep seeing that over 40 pages. How does that not set up like a few sirens? Seeing it once, okay, you said okay once, but you keep reading it. Every line you get deeper into these 40 pages, you have to reread another way that you're gonna die. And not the first one you can drown out, the second one maybe, but like by the 6th or 7th, like, is it not, what do you call it? The snowball effect.
Resonating?
No.
I don't know.
Yes, but a snowball affecting, like impacting, adding up to impact and hold some gravity of maybe not. I don't know.
Some people still want to do it.
That's so wild.
So yeah, you have the 40-page waiver of consenting to literally whatever they want to do to you.
Right.
Then, not only do you have to sign a 40-page waiver, but like reportedly when people got into contact with McKamey, he would say like...
After.
After after getting in contact with McKamey before signing the 40-page waiver, he would also say like, oh, like, you better like sign up fast or make sure you come in soon because there's like 25,000 people on the wait list who want to do this. So he was like trying to kind of pressure people into coming.
Manipulative.
Yeah, like, oh, you know, like there might not be a spot for you, so like if you want to come, it's like super exclusive, you need to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it would kind of like force those people to, if they were
creating a demand.
Yeah, like if they were on like maybe I don't want to do it. Oh, what if there's like a wait list and I won't be able to do it again?
Everyone's
like,
doing this.
I need to go.
Do we know? So you said that apparently he was super broke, and so he had no claims to the money that he said he would give the people who complete. Mm-hmm. But do we know if there was ever actually a wait list? If not 25,000, like at all?
Reportedly, there wasn't a wait list. This was a complete lie. Mm-hmm. Like
that's what
maybe
I was
there was,
expecting.
like maybe there's a handful of people who wanted to do it, but not 25,000 mm-hmm. people who wanted to do it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So another requirement before going in, he would require you to go to the doctors and get a physical.
Oh my God.
Right? Like what haunted house makes you go and get a physical before going? Mm-hmm. Like
also, like, what is that proving?
Your physical,
like that you're
aptitude.
Fit enough to be scared.
Your physical, you're like if you're gonna get waterboarded, like you need to be in good physical shape to get waterboarded. Like I don't know.
Like, what in a physical is gonna tell you this person is waterboardable material? And
what happens in annual physical? I forgot. They take your height, weight,
blood pressure.
I guess blood pressure.
Respiratory.
Yeah.
Like those things. But like at what point, if someone has respiratory issues enough where, yeah, they definitely shouldn't be waterboarded, whatever you're going to do to them, are the people, the way you're describing these people, I don't think they'd be the type to look at the forms and be like, oh yes, this person is definitely not fit to participate in this manner. We should turn them away. You know what I'm saying? Like, has he turned anyone away?
Not that I've heard of.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's but like you're asking them to get a physical, and for who? Obviously not for you, because you're not turning them away.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no answer for that.
Right.
But he also, aside from the physical, he also made them go get a psych eval before going into the manor. Mm-hmm. So it's like you have to have 2 different doctor appointments to say that you're physically sane and you're mentally sane before going into this manor. Mm-hmm.
They want to gauge your starting point and then your ending point.
Yeah, he would conduct exit interviews.
Oh shit, really? Like as they're leaving?
No, he would or
like after follow up.
So one girl reported like basically getting like kidnapped to get to the house. Yeah, like he made them, her and like the person she was going to do the haunt with, meet him at like a random park, buy some bleachers, and then like a man approached them and said like, don't look at me, just get in the car. Like basically kidnapping these 2 girls and then taking them to where the haunt was, and then after the haunt dropping them back off at the place and then being like, so how was it? Like,
what?
Yeah. And this was like one of the girls who did the like very initial haunts. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, after I did mine, it got so much worse for everyone else. And because he learned after each time, oh, how can I make it scarier? And
she's not the one that did it twice though, right? So it got worse based off of comparing it with other people who have done it.
Yeah. And like she had a bad experience. Like,
right.
She was physically injured, like she was waterboarded, it was insane.
Right.
It was 6 hours, I think she said.
Jesus.
But as he does exit interviews, but he also does entrance interviews. I don't know. Okay. So basically, once you go through all of those, you get your psych eval, you get your physical.
Right. All your testing.
Yeah. He will plan an interview with you via Facebook Messenger or Skype. Now listen, if using Skype is not a red flag
in this day and age, especially 2014, I don't think it would have been considered a red flag. Acceptable. Skype was still
in
around.
2014. I don't know anyone who literally would use Skype.
Oh, I use Skype all the time. Back
Really?
in 2014, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
You will. Don't kidding.
You're literally 6 months older than me.
What do you mean?
I wonder, is Mario or Luigi actually older? Well,
Trivia question. Is Luigi or Mario older?
Thank you.
End of trivia question.
Impromptu trivia, now part of the Midnight Memo.
Yes. Yeah, he would conduct these interviews before you would go to the haunted house, because
on the way, or like completely separate day event?
Completely separate, like way ahead of time before your haunt was supposed to be. Reason being is because he wanted to get to know everything that scares you.
Yeah, I was gonna say add in your specific fears.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he'll ask, basically he wanted to know everything that made you tick. What are you scared of? What's your trauma? What's like all of this stuff. So like,
okay, this is lightening the mood, but like in a dark way. That sounds like, in Phineas and Ferb when they make the haunted house, and then they're like, oh, everyone dress up like as what you're scared of, and then like Bajit, who is like supposed to be like the nerdy and Indian kid, dresses up as a failed test. And he was like, what are you talking about? This is so scary. But they all had to dress up as their own, like Phineas was like going around and like interviewing them, and he's like, what are you afraid of? And then they would add that into the house. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
What if that's based off of him? That episode?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I really hope not, but
yeah. I don't
anyways.
think so. But yeah, so it's like, oh, if I'm scared of being buried alive, he would bury you alive.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, scared of spiders, he would put you
in a room
like
full of spiders or something.
I think that he would like use these. He literally had torture devices.
No.
That he would use.
I'm gonna
he
have
would, like,
nightmares
put something
now
on
tonight.
your head and have like a bunch of things in there.
No, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight now.
Yeah, it was crazy, and so that was what the interview was used for. So basically, to get like a tally of everything that you were afraid of, so that he could specialize the tour for you.
Also, okay, again with the red flag, and I don't know how much of this is us being outsiders looking in, obviously, hindsight being 2020, but still I would like to know at some point a normal cognizant person would have had a red flag. Like if you were meeting with the man who is, yes, supposed to scare you, but not only that, you read through and signed away a torture contract, like, and you know that, and then he comes up to you and he's like, what are you afraid of? I would not willingly tell, like, I would not be like, so sissy poo, let me tell you, and like just lay out your heart like that and your, the darkest parts of your fears and phobias.
Yeah, I think it was a mix of, again, like people who are like, oh, I can handle it though. Like people say it's scary, but like I can still handle it. You know what I mean? And then it's also like, apparently he was very like amicable, like he was very likable when you talk to him.
Of course he was.
So,
all these
very charming. Yes, everyone like, but he also had a switch where he could be like in the middle of torturing you and then be like, oh, how are you feeling? Like, and then
oh
go
my god,
straight back.
no, that's I feel like that's so much more terrifying.
Yeah.
Than just being like cold and disassociated the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
it's like a split moment.
It is. And before going into the haunted house, you would also have to watch a 2-hour video of people who have previously gone through it.
So he is recording these people as they're going through.
Yeah. He's recording everything, documenting everything. You could literally, if you wanted to look up McKamey Manor videos online, you could watch some of these videos.
He's released them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he has 40 pages. He probably had them sign that away too. Mm-hmm. Like, truthfully.
Yeah. And so you have to watch a 2-hour video, and then he would like quiz you on the video to make sure that you watched it. And
our friends didn't even watch the 5-minute video to how to power the 6 miles per hour boat that we rented. Oh my gosh, let alone a 2-hour. No.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so all of these things, basically, like, you all of this happens, and then you go into the actual torture.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, well, how is this even legal? Like,
yeah.
He's publicly torturing these people. He has videos. He has all of this stuff. The police can't get involved. And people are like, why aren't the police getting involved? Like, obviously, this is crazy.
Yeah.
People are like being kidnapped publicly. They're leaving with huge bruises, teeth missing, being buried alive.
Yeah.
Like, crazy things. And the reason is because he doesn't charge you to go in. He's not collecting any money.
It's not a business.
You're voluntarily going, knowing all of this stuff. You've signed a waiver. You're voluntarily going.
He shows you evidence, so like you direct. It's not like he's talking to you, he's explaining it, and then you're like, oh, that wasn't what I expected. Like, you physically see it, so there's no ambiguous interpretation of it.
Yeah. And reportedly, the only thing that he wanted in return was dog food.
Oh.
Because he had 5 dogs, and so he said, you can come through as long as you do all these things and you bring me dog food. Weird.
That's still considered, that should be considered a business.
It's not
from
currency.
A legal. It's still an exchange of goods and services, though, right? I don't know. I feel like I'm not a lawyer, but I feel like a good lawyer could poke a few holes in there.
Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the reasons he moved from San Diego to Tennessee. He probably got kicked out of San Diego.
That would make sense to me too.
Basically, people willingly signed up to get tortured and it's just like so different from an actual haunted house. Like, haunted house, you get scared. There's a couple of jump scares. You go through, it's like 10, 15 minutes, 20, 25 minutes. And then it's done. And then you're like, okay, that was great.
Yeah.
This is like, you leave with like a lifetime of trauma.
Yeah.
Like,
more than one person should endure in a lifetime, truthfully.
Yeah, you've been abused. I don't know. It's crazy.
But like at the same time, like you said, they signed this away, you know? Like, it's like, I want to be on their side. Like, that no one should ever have that experience with them. But strictly speaking, from probably his legal point of view, it's like they knew exactly what they were signing up for. They should have known exactly, because they read it, they watched it, they talked to him. Like, they should know. No, I don't like that. That's so terrifying.
Yeah. But if you guys want to learn more about it, McKamey Manor, there are a lot of videos out there that probably do a deeper dive into what actually happens inside the manor. We just know that it's not any good. You're basically signing up to get killed.
It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah, it's a no for me.
It's a me for no. No, just no. Like, why? Like, I want to know what inspired him to do this.
He's just sick. He's a psychopath.
Like, yes, absolutely, not disagreeing with that. But it takes a certain type of fucked up to want to and be bold enough to turn this into a business model out in the open blatantly and be profiting from it. Like, supposedly, right? Profiting at least through dog food, you know? And to the time and energy to tailor make it. Like, I just got too much time on his hands.
Yeah, he is a dangerous man. He's basically has serial killer tendencies just out in the open.
But out in the open. That's the most terrifying part. How do you spell McKamey? I want to see if it's still around. Yeah, it's open. Well, right now it's closed because time difference, but it exists and in operating form.
Yeah.
Also, it has 2.6 stars on Google ratings, which is still more than I would have thought. Okay, first person put 5 stars. These people never win it. There's no fucking way. 5 stars. Great place for some family fun. My 7-month-old started teething, and when I brought her here for some dental work, she hasn't had any problems since. I also brought my 5-year-old son here for a haircut, and it looked great. He also got some swimming lessons from a great instructor, and he hasn't come up for air in months. Super fun.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, I know, but that's so dark. So these people, the reason why it also has high ratings is because people are just like memeing.
Trolling you.
Yeah. Also, okay, look at this. This person also memeing, but it's... Actually, I'm gonna read the next line of her review will accurately tell you what she looks like. Best experience I've ever had. I'm a 69-year-old Christian woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say that they treated me exactly the same as all the other young contestants. Loved when they slapped me around and they beat my face into muddy swamp water. They said I had to shave my granddaughter's hair and they'd have her shave off mine, so I gracefully cut hers off. They made me eat throw up off the floor and smear feces into someone else's mouth, and I loved it. I give McKamey Manor 11 out of 10 for their hospitality, and I will be back soon. Okay, she gave that 5 stars, but she gave Chipotle 2.5. Sis, I feel like we gotta talk.
Yeah, I feel like that's not a real person.
What do you mean? That looks like such a real person.
Like, these reviews are just not real.
A lot of these reviews are like fresh haircut and free dental work.
Yeah, unamused.
Can you fight back at McKamey Manor? The tour can last up to 8 hours and you can't fight back or run.
Yeah, that was a rule.
That you can't fight back?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Literally why people left with huge bruises everywhere.
Yeah, all of these top reviews are like, I got a haircut. I had some dental work. Dora the Explorer has rated this. She has 2 reviews. One of them is for this establishment. Had such a great experience. Free tattoos and drinks. Don't know what was in it, but it sure did something to stop my breathing. My 7-year-old daughter loved it, especially the arm amputation. She always wanted to be an amputee. Defo recommend.
Oh my god.
Would definitely recommend this to someone who wants to have a relaxing, fun time. Staff were so thoughtful and gave me and my kids a free haircut. Yeah, all of these are like jabs at a free haircut and free dental work. Or recommending for families, and they say something about kids.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of fucked up.
It's so fucked up. But
are they like trying to get more families to go?
Oh, well, great cue. What also bugs me is it's still at 2.6 stars, which is way higher than I think anyone logically after hearing this would believe so.
Mm-hmm.
But then even more so, all of these trolls are all giving 5 stars, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, God forbid what a 1 star, like I'm kind of terrified to look at what a 1 star looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still not enough to gauge, like the 5s and the 1s are still only enough to gauge to a 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
So like, God forbid what the other end of this spectrum looks like.
Yeah.
Should I look it up? Do I want to? I don't know. So this person gave a 1-star review. I never went, but don't go. You'll probably die or at least get heavily injured. Not to mention traumatized. No amount of money is worth that. Fair. So these are like actual reviews. Like, this place is a whole torture chamber for people who want to hurt people but cannot do it legally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go back to the actors, right? The people who are either applying or being actively hired to work here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are not, we're talking about McKamey, being like an absolute psychopath, serial killer, like sociopath out in the open of like wanting to torture these people and getting them to consent to it and do it. But not only that, his reach goes far enough to either recruit or actively encourage other people who share this ideal of like, oh yeah, I want to do that to people.
Mm-hmm.
And then he employs them.
Yeah.
And then creates and helps them, build up whatever the fuck it is. And I'm just like, how do you say like, oh, I work at McKamey Manor?
I honestly think that if you do and you're an actor there, like, you take pride in it.
I just can't imagine. And are you that disassociated where you're like, oh, I'm acting, so therefore this is like a I don't know, something worth bragging about, and disassociate that you were actually doing this to like a real life person who's like, permanently to a real life person.
I think that they know that they're not acting. Like, if you're working there, you know you're not acting.
Right. How much of the actors do you think he like recruits and somehow like twists them, breeds them, whatever, to like work there? And how many do you think are people who like seek him out?
I think someone said something about this, and I totally forgot what it was. I don't know. I don't think the people who work there needed convincing to work there.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. Like, I think people who find out what it's about and enjoy doing that to people, they'll seek him out and be like, hey, can I work here? And then he's probably like, oh yeah, if you're enthusiastic about it, then like, sure, come on over. Which is insane.
That's so terrifying.
Yeah, it's just crazy because I was just like scrolling TikTok and they're like,
why is this coming up on your TikTok?
I think it's just because like we've been talking so much about like Spook-Tober, whatever. Halloween's coming up really soon.
Turn my phone off. I shouldn't have searched those things. Now my TikTok's gonna either have it or...
Exactly. Like I was watching a video and they're like, have you heard about McKamey Manor? And I was like, what do you mean? And like, so it's crazy. Like, it's basically a torture chamber.
Yeah.
Do you want to go get tortured?
Now the title, or not the title, the one-liner that came up when I searched this place makes so much sense. Like, boot camp for horror survivalist bootcamp. That terrible combination of words, I feel like accurately describes this.
Yeah.
Which is, again, terrifying.
Yeah. If you look at pictures of this or videos, like, you'll see how horrifying it looks. And like, you can't run away. You can't fight back. You can try, I think.
Okay,
you can try to run. You can try to do all that stuff. But literally, it's you against a group of actors. You're not getting away. Yeah. Sorry. Like, no matter how sly you think you are.
And even if you could, like, because they built the establishment, like, they're gonna, you know.
Home field advantage.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, one person against 8 people, like, it's not gonna work. And like, I think the people who went on these tours or whatever, they're small groups of people. So
of course,
it's not like
they're not gonna give you any possible advantage. Yeah.
Like, so if we were to go to like Silverwood, say, right?
Okay.
We're going with like a group of people, and that's fine. But like McKamey, they'd probably be like, nah, like you only can come like...
Yeah, max couple people.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Family fun though.
Yeah, at least they don't have permanent teeth in yet, kids.
The 7-year-old probably had a few.
Nah. Yeah, well, that was...
Depressing,
yeah. I literally, when I was listening to all the videos about McKamey Manor and doing my art project, I was in the middle of 2 very different emotions. I was like, art, sad, art, sad.
Sad doesn't even be, like...
It's just, I'm trying to wrap my head around it still, because for us, like, it seems so incomprehensible, like, why would you even volunteer to do that? But there are people out there who I think just still believe it's not as bad as it looks.
Yeah.
Or they're tougher, they can make it through. It's like proving something to yourself. I can get through it when no one else can. I could, like, something like that. And
really a God complex almost at a point.
Yeah. And you know what? Survival of the fittest pie. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it should be legal. I don't know how, honestly, if you like think about it, like you said, you could poke holes into whatever business model he's running.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, but he's evaded all legal.
Has anyone tried to, like, I feel like someone has to have tried at this point.
Probably,
but I'm like, so shocked no one's been able to take it down.
I honestly think that, yes, people have tried, but the fact that we know that police can't get involved is because someone tried.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I don't like that, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's still happening like to this day. It was super popular again in 2013, 14, 15, and then I think like 16 and 17 it started coming up again. So, and I think it originally started to become popular because Netflix did like a documentary on like haunted places. So they did places like Universal Studios haunted Halloween nights and like, and then all of a sudden McKamey Manor, like such a drastic change.
Those aren't even in the same category.
Yeah. And one girl I was watching who was talking about this, she was like, I don't know why.
The Netflix show or like in general?
One girl, I feel like her name was like Lou or Lucy or something like that on YouTube. She was talking about the Netflix documentary that was covering all these haunted places. And she was saying, basically, it's kind of a slap in the face to even include McKamey Manor. Because like it wasn't on theme with the rest of the places that they were showing. And honestly, I don't think that they should publicize a place like this anyways.
Yeah.
So
because you're helping him, encouraging more people, encouraging more of those people who have that God complex of like, oh, I can do it.
Yeah. That was all I had on McKamey Manor. It's a crazy place. Don't do it. Don't sign up for it. Go to a regular haunted house.
Genuinely, just no words. I'm just weighed down by the gravity of like even thinking about that.
Yeah.
This truly will keep, I'm not gonna do well. I'm not gonna great. No. Can't even talk. Just I'm zoinked.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys are gonna be able to sleep after this.
Yeah.
And if you can't, we can all blame Claire. Everyone blame your sleep schedule on Claire tonight.
Okay. We all be up at the same time.
Or your morning haunting. If you're watching this in the morning, your morning haunts and waking nightmares on Claire.
Honestly. Or if you end up going down a rabbit hole like me, just be prepared. That's all I'll say. It's not for the faint of heart.
No.
I'll say.
I would say talk to us about it, but like you can talk to Claire about it. I don't want to talk to you about it. After this, I don't want to talk about it. That's terrifying.
Alrighty. We will... Oh, wait. Well, what's the closing? Oh, okay. Follow us on our social medias. If you haven't listened to any of the other Spook-Tober installments, we have 3 episodes already up. So it'll either be on the screen or you can look at our playlist if you're on YouTube. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave us a review.
Yes, please.
Rate us. Leave us a review. We would love it.
If McKamey Manor can get reviews, I feel like we should be able to get a few. Hopefully.
Exactly. Hopefully better stars than McKamey Manor.
Hopefully. Please and thanks.
And what else? Oh yeah, all of our other social medias will be either in the description below or up on the screen. Tune in next Tuesday for our next episode.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Have a good night, afternoon, morning, midday. All right. Bye.
Bye.